How's it going out there? This is Feed Your Mind. And so, in this video, we're going to discuss how aliens are not from outer space. And so, it begins like this. They tell us that there's billions of stars up there, and each star could be a sun, and each star could have planets going around it, and that increases the chances of there being life out there, because some of these planets that go around these stars could be inhabited. And there's a good chance of that because look how many stars there are up there. Well, it turns out that there's a lot of evidence that stars are not suns. And we've been told that by the Catholic Church about 500 years ago. They decided through Copernicus to change the worldview of the universe and have everybody believing that the sky is an expanding universe up there. But nope, it turns out that there's plenty of evidence to show us that the sky is not an expanding universe. It's actually not that far up. Could be 100 or two up, above us. Could be somewhere like that. You see meteors burn up in the sky. Scientists admit there's like a magnetic field around the Earth. They say anything floating out in orbit would burn up before, conveniently burn up before it hits the Earth. So there's obviously some type of protective energy force field up there. Some type of barrier up there. So, and also the stars are not suns. You can look at them close up and see that, well, with the new technology, we can get a close-up view on these stars, and they're definitely not what they're telling us they are. So there goes your whole, and then once you look into that more, you'll start to see more and more evidence that, yeah, these stars are not suns. So what are aliens then? If they're not coming from outer space, well, we're left with a few options. So the option that I've been zeroing in on is that these beings come from somewhere else, most likely. And, well, this gets biblical, but it looks like they were kicked out of heaven. Looks like these beings were kicked out of heaven and brought to earth. And that's why, part of why we believe that outer space is what they tell us it is now. I believe they were influencing Copernicus and Galileo to come up with these mathematics that make this whole heliocentric thing, a logical explanation, so-called logical. It's pretty much just a mathematical explanation, though. And they have all this math that, you can work out and say, that's all it is the heliocentric model is math. So it explains that they use it to explain the heavens above into a heliocentric model, when before that was not the model of the universe. Earth was the center. So if Earth is the center and everything revolves around the Earth, then that changes everything we knew about outer space. Well, everything we thought we knew about outer space. So so aliens are definitely not coming from outer space. If anything, they're, like I said, beings that were either kicked out of heaven, or if you want to expand further with various options, they could be beings that are from another area, because the Earth is nothing like they've been telling us, as we discuss a lot on my Feed Your Mind 2 channel. So when you get caught up, you'll know that aliens are not from outer space. So that means they could be coming from other lands around the earth. They could be coming from underneath the earth, or they could be beings that were kicked out of heaven, and maybe some of them went under the earth. I think these beings want us to believe that they're from outer space, because that will help them in their mission, to keep everybody deceived about the reality of Earth. So my favorite hypothesis is that, yeah, they were beings that were kicked out of heaven, called angels. And the angels that got kicked out, they said about a third of them got kicked out. They rebelled against the Most High. And so they say this heaven realm is directly above this earth. Well, a lot of people, that's a popular hypothesis, is that, directly above this earth is another layer, and that layer would be heaven, and it's inhabited with beings, and these beings got kicked out for plotting against the Most High, about a third of them, and sent down here. And they would have filled down here in physical form initially. I would suspect. Because we're going to get into that in another video, but this is what people would call the Titans of old. So we're going to explain more about what Titans are. But these Titans would have been kicked out of heaven, and when they got to Earth, they would have been in physical form as giants. And these giants are said to have went around and repopulated the earth with beings in their own image. So these Titans would have created what we would call the Nephilim, or the giants. And then, so these something happened with the flood, all right, because these Titans were down here, and I can't wait to get into this discussion about Titans. We're going to do that very soon, so let's not get too deep into what Titans are right now, but this is a brief explanation. So these Titans were destroyed in the flood, and they say some were actually sent to Tartarus underneath the earth and imprisoned there. And I guess what I'm guessing is that would be probably their spirits or souls, because if they were in physical form at first, after the flood, they were no longer in physical form. They would have been in spirit form then, and imprisoned underneath the earth after that. So, but the thing with the giants is they say these giants were abominations, and so their souls or spirits had nowhere to go. There was like one of the what I've been reading up on and stuff, they're pretty much saying that the spirits of the giants just are now just roaming the earth on the surface level, wandering, kind of like the wandering stars. Like they say, the wandering stars are the planets that feel out of order with the rest of the stars. So they were sent to wander somewhere else. So that would be kind of like that, where the giants would have been, the spirits of the giants would have died in a flood as well, but they weren't sent to Sheol or Tartarus. They were just out of their body and were now roaming the earth. And then, so that's what people would call demons. And so these demons, I believe, gained access to, well, some of them might have gained access to bodies somehow, were able to, and that's what we would see as aliens. Another hypothesis is that this circle Earth is inhabited by lots of beings in different frequencies, though. So within this one circle Earth, our realm would be the Earth realm and inhabited by humans. But there's a hypothesis that this is just one of many realms. And within the same circle could be a whole nother world in a different frequency, inhabited as well. And so, this inhabited, the other inhabited dimensions could contain beings that might have the ability. I mean, who knows how many inhabited worlds there are within this realm? It could be limited to like 9 or whatever. Some religions like to say like 9 realms or whatever, or 7, who knows? But it could be unlimited. Yeah, there could be an unlimited amount of realms contained within this earth. And the beings in these inhabited realms might be would have the ability to portal into this world. Some of them might have that ability to portal in and out of our frequency. And so that could be what aliens are, is these beings from another realm using portals to come and go from their realm to our realm. Kind of like how, if you saw Doctor Strange, he creates a portal that they can step through. So it would be kind of like that, where they can travel back and forth from their realm to our realm. So these explanations of aliens are, I believe, much more like it's pretty much what I'm narrowing it down to. So what explanation did you like? Do you think it's the fallen angels, or do you think it's the aliens are beings from another realm that's here on this earth that are able to travel back and forth? Or we also discussed the third option, where there could be other lands. Like the earth could be not just limited to the continents that we are aware of. There could be continents outside of our realm, of our circle Earth. There could be many other circle Earths. It could be an infinite amount of circle Earths with their own suns on an infinite plane. Or some might say the egg carton theory, where, it's like we're one pond, Earth pond, and there could be several others. So the aliens, what we consider aliens, could be traveling from those other areas to our Earth circle. So that's 3 explanations of what aliens could be. Alternative theories besides the outer space theory. So Let me know what theory you like the best. I'll leave a link to my Aliens Are Not What You Were Told video in the comment section in the description box. I also leave links to my other channels on social media. And if you want to donate to the channel, you can chip in as little as $1 to help keep Feed Your Mind online. And you'll gain access to secret videos, early releases, and sneak peeks. So please leave a like and a comment, and make sure you're subscribed and click your notification bell. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Feed Your Mind, signing off.